Hello and welcome to It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast. This is a podcast for business leaders and business owners just like you. We're going to be sharing top tips on how to develop yourself personally and professionally. I'm going to be sharing updated podcasts on a regular basis, so please do make sure you subscribe, and I really hope you enjoy today's podcast. How do you decide when to stop something that's actually going really well? Recently, I decided that I needed to stop doing the Fleet Geeks peer-to-peer group. I've been running it for 5 years, and it was a really, really challenging decision, and it got me thinking about why it's important and good leadership that you stop things at their peak with intention and with pride and clarity, rather than just allowing things to meander on. Now, I still run my It's Not So Lonely at the Top peer mentoring group for business owners and leaders. And that's really taken over a lot of my time and energy, which helped lead me to decide to stop doing the Fleet Geeks group. The Fleet Geeks specifically were for transport managers. And like I say, it's really helped me learn how to run an effective peer mentoring group. And the group had been together for a really long time, but I used a framework to help me decide to stop that group, because it just didn't align with where I'm heading longer term and some of the other things that I have going on. And it was going to become a conflict of interest based on a new project that I'm working on. So I just wanted to share with you, the listeners, today. So to make it really clear, the InSlap Mastermind is still happening. It's still going ahead. It's been running for a year now, and it's been going absolutely fantastically. And I'm looking to grow that group because my long-term future is to look after and support business owners and leaders like yourself. The Fleet Geeks group had been set up 5 years ago specifically for transport managers. And as I start to move away from leading managers to leading leaders and coaching leaders, my evolution has gone beyond transport manager development, if that makes sense. And actually, it's something that I now focus my team on. So there's 5 key areas that I think about, and I call it the close framework, that I thought about when deciding to close down the group. The first one is around capacity. Is this thing, and I want you to think about this as well. This is why I'm talking about this, because it's useful for you as listeners to really think about, when do you actually stop doing something even though it's working well? Because sometimes it isn't the right thing just to carry on blindly, even though something's going well. Sometimes things have naturally run their course, and it's important for us as leaders to see where and how that's happening, if that makes sense. And this is how I do it. So I use the close framework. First of all, I think about capacity. Is this the best use of my time? Am I maximizing my time and the potential from my time in what I'm doing? Now, the signal for me with this is, if you're protecting working on something that's no longer strategic for you, the capacity is probably, the time you're spending on it might be better off spent elsewhere. And if you're starting to think about your time might be better off spent elsewhere, then it might be time to stop. The next one is around leverage. So is the work that you're doing compounding over time? Is it growing and compounding and increasing? Are you increasing your leverage, or actually is the work you're doing just repetitive and repeating? The signal for this might be that the results depend on you, for example. So if something's really depending on you and actually there's no leverage because you're just repeating the process, then that might not be a good use of your time either. The third area is about ownership. Do others own this thing without you? Can other people grow it and nurture it and love it without you needing to? Hi, my name's Pete, and I want to thank you for tuning into today's podcast. I'm a coach, speaker, and author. And if you want to take your personal development that bit further, did you know that I offer a mastermind program as well as one-to-one coaching? If you're interested, please do reach out on peterushmer.com. And the signal for this is, you're still the one who's having to do the work. If this is still relying on you and there's no ownership elsewhere, and you have lots of other things to focus on and time to spend on other things, it might also be the time for you to close it off. The fourth is around strategic fit. Does it align with where you're heading? What does your future look like? And is this helping head in that direction or not? Because it's really, really disarming and easy to think about the history of how well something has done and the track record, rather than thinking about the long-term vision. And what's absolutely vital for leaders is to think about and focus on that long-term vision rather than thinking about the history. And then the final one is around your energy. Do you find the thing you're doing that you're thinking of closing off draining from an energy perspective, or does it light you up? If it lights you up, it might be worthwhile that you continue to do it because you get so much energy from it. But likewise, if it's draining, then you might see it, the signal that if it's a relief that you're thinking about ending it, then that might be the right thing to do as well. So there's 5 key things there for you to think about: capacity, leverage, ownership, strategic fit, and energy. It's often difficult when I coach leaders on what to and when to stop doing things, for example. It might be about delegation, or it might be about stopping altogether. But these 5 areas might help you decide as to whether it's a good time to stop. Because I think it's important that we don't just continue doing what we've always done blindly. It's important that we evaluate the activities we're doing. As I say to all managers, it's not about time management, it's about priority management. We have to make sure that we have the right priorities on our to-do list at any given time. We can't just do things blindly because that's the way we've always done them. We need to make sure we maximize our time. In fact, we all have 24 hours in a day. We all have to sleep, we all have to eat, and we all do need to spend time away from work. So the reality is, if you have 8 hours at work, you need to make sure that you're really leveraging that time. You need to make sure you're giving ownership to other people. You need to make sure that everything you do is a strategic fit and that you are energized by all the work that you're doing. Good leadership knows about when to stop and making sure that you finish things at the peak with intention and with pride and with clarity. I hope this podcast has been interesting, and I want you to think about, what do you need to decide to stop doing, even if it's going well? Because good leaders and excellent performance isn't just about what we do, it's also about what we don't do and the things that we say no to. Thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast, and I look forward to seeing you on a future episode. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on today's It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast. We really hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. I'm absolutely delighted that you took the time to listen, and I really hope that you'll subscribe to ensure that you receive future episodes too. If you want to find out any more, please do search It's Not So Lonely at the Top podcast, and you'll find it on your favourite podcast app. Thank you.